Hey everyone, welcome to the Dad Challenge podcast. My name is Josh. Thanks for joining me today in this real crime mid-afternoon episode. This is the first time I think in my whole entire YouTube career that I've ever gotten breaking news. And of course, everything I say today is given to me by an anonymous source, so I will not be telling you my sources, and it is not confirmed. So it's all conjecture, it's all alleged, and so none of this can be confirmed. But I think in the coming days, it will obviously corroborate it, or you guys can all throw rocks at me. So yes, we are live, Haley. We are live. I know you can't tell because of the amazing quality. I'm not in Florida, guys. You didn't hear my big rant about going to Florida? Yeah, jeez. It's going out today at 1:30. You'll hear my big rant. Or 4 o'clock. Is my camera not focused on? Looks focused to me. Yeah, there's a couple of questions about the guy and her knowing her on Facebook and all that kind of stuff, but that's not kind of what I mean. We'll talk about that today. If you didn't hear the audio from when she was found, it warms your heart. It's heartbreaking, but it warms your heart. But today is, if what I'm about to tell you guys is correct today, it's good news and it's really bad news. Okay, so let's go with what I know right at this point. So my source, I've got my sources here. And we're talking about it. And I've got questions. If you need to ask questions, I can ask my source and they can answer the questions. But basically, my source is from Australia, and they kind of know what's going on. So, basically, this is what's going down. The breaking news is that Cleo's stepdad, if I'm saying this correctly, and hopefully I am, had outstanding debts with some of the local skullduggery people, right? Drug dealers and things like that. That is corroborated who he owed money to, but it was to, not very nice people. The stepdad owed money to not very nice people for outstanding either drug debts or something like that. Okay. And so Cleo was taken because of those debts. Okay. And the mother knew. The stepdad knew. Okay. They all knew and didn't tell the police. Likely because they didn't want to tell the police because they thought that, or the threat was that if you tell the police, we'll kill her, right? They didn't take her though, Sherry. They didn't take her, but they knew who took her. And likely they knew where she was. And so you're going to see arrests in the coming days. I'm pretty sure the mom's going to be charged. The stepfather is probably going to be charged. So they knew. And so with the $1 million reward, here's where it gets a little bit more crazy. Allegedly, the stepdad reached out to one of his friends and said, can you call the police with this information of where she is? Let's see if we can collect the reward. The $1 million reward. The mom knew after she was taken. So I'm getting fed information. So Jen is right. Shit just got spicy. Okay. So the silver lining here, the good news is that Cleo likely was taken as a marker to hold for the money until it was given to them, but was not harmed in the way that people thought she might have been harmed. Does that make sense? She wasn't SA'd. She's probably treated just okay. She was probably given toys and food and all that kind of stuff. It looks like she was okay. But in the end, this is the crime that happens, right? The mom knew and didn't tell the police. So it looks like I'm on board saying things correctly. So she's 4 years old. She was taken. And so now we have to look back at the case and say, did they put her in that other part of the tent? Did the stepdad do that? And these are all questions I'm asking. I'm not saying this is my source didn't say this stuff, but did the stepdad plan this? Right? Did they take her to hold her and then for the $1 million ransom to pay off the debts? So it just got crazy twisted. So we have to look now. I'm sure the police who know all this stuff are obviously just putting their whole case together and everything else. But the guy that abducted her was just part of the whole thing. It wasn't just him. And apparently, I read a tweet, and I don't know if my source can tell me this, but he was definitely beaten in prison recently. Like he's in the hospital right now. So why did the search start? Because they claimed her missing, as far as I'm aware, but did not tell the police that they knew who took her or knew why she was taken. Here's the thing. They knew why she was taken. This is why the dad looked so guilty in all the photos and the videos and all this stuff that's going on. The dad knew from day one what happened. Likely they knew also that she wasn't going to be harmed. Okay, so Maybe they didn't think it was such a big deal. She's not going to be harmed. We know they're not going to harm her. Let's just get the money, all this kind of stuff, but didn't tell the police. And as far as I'm aware, that's effing illegal. And that's dangerous because your kid was gone for 3 weeks. Imagine knowing where your kid is, who took your kid in a small town, and not telling the police. I sort of get it, though. You have to put yourself in the position of the parents, the mom specifically, that if they threatened that if you call the police, we're going to hurt her, like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? But because the stepdad knew, and it was because of drug debts and things like that, this is where this thing is going to get a little bit crazy. So you know, comment here to tell me right now, if your kid was taken, right, and you knew why and where, but the person said, if you tell anybody, I'm going to hurt them, what do you do? Parent blaming. Yeah, I'm blaming the stepdad. If this is true, what I've been told, this is all alleged, don't forget. Yeah, I'm blaming the stepdad for having outstanding drug debts. And if he knew what was going on, like, I don't know. Again, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe they don't deserve all the blame, obviously. But at the same time, they knew. If my kid was taken, I'd tell the police everything. Yeah, I imagine. But what I'm putting in your sphere is that if the person that took your child said, if you tell anybody, I'm going to hurt them. I mean, what do you do? You call Liam Neeson is the first thing you do, okay? It's the first thing that you do. Yeah, maybe Danielle Baker, very good point here. I would tell the police, and obviously they would have a way of doing it secretly. Here's the thing. This is a really good point, Danielle, because think about this for a second. If you knew where the child was, and clearly they did because the dad got the buddy to call the police and tell them where she was, okay? So they knew. So why not just call police and say, you got to keep this ultra secret? There's so many ways you can talk to the police without the bad guys knowing where she is. And the bad guy that had her, like, okay, was a creepy weirdo who liked Bratz dolls. So really, really, really weird. Let me just double check with the debts, Erica Hinkle, if it's gambling debts or if it what debts what they were. Yeah, exactly. BNA, your husband would go after them. It'd be a pull. They'd pull a Liam Neeson. And my sources wants to let everybody know that never assume that the police don't know anything. They know. Specifically, we know that law enforcement in this region did an amazing job at this, and like everybody's given them the props that they deserve. Finally, some law enforcement doing the right, good stuff. I love it. We needed a good story like this, but at the same time. And so the debts were for drugs. If you guys were wondering, they weren't gambling debts, they were for drugs. Yeah. Good point, Rosa Gonzalez. Why should the child pay for the dad's debts? Should have taken the dad instead. I agree with you on that one. Gus is just alerted to something. So I'll ask that question. But here's the thing. This is a stepdad too, guys. This is not just like, this isn't the real biological dad. And that adds a little bit of grossness to the story. It's not his real child and all that stuff. And he didn't have a lot of skin in the game for that, but he owed drug debts. And so stuff's about to explode. The person that called the police too, that person likely will be charged as well. This goes down. The collusion goes all the way down. And then the person that set this daughter up to be kidnapped for the ransom, they're going to be like, this is going to be a sting of the highest order, is what I'm saying. Like, people are going to be running away from there right now. Check who's leaving on an airplane from that area right now. Basic Mom, as far as I'm aware, this is true, but again, it's all alleged at this point. I can't prove it. I guess you're just going to have to follow the news there. No clue whether or not the person that called in was lying about the diapers. And the question is, why was Cleo taken and not his bio child? Why Cleo? because he had a biochild with Cleo's mom. Yes, everyone involved should be held accountable. And here's another sad part of the story. Cleo gets rescued. She's the queen of the world right now, and she should be. She's back. But the mom is now going to be charged, I think. I'm not sure if the mom... Yeah, I'm pretty sure the mom could be charged for that. So they knew this. The fact that they knew is a little bit crazy. And that there's a reward out there. There's a GoFundMe out there. There's all these kind of things. And now who's going to suffer even more now? Not only did Cleo get taken... Okay, but now the mom is going to be charged, could likely face time in prison. We don't know. And who else is going to suffer because of that? Cleo. Cleo's going to suffer because of that. Becky writes, a baby is more work to take care of. Good point. Yeah, babies cry. Good point, Joanna. A lot of moms in here are like, I know why they didn't take the baby. I know exactly why. Have you ever cleaned up poop that went all the way up their back? Okay, that's why they didn't take the baby. Babies require 24-hour support. A 4-year-old you throw in a room with a bunch of dolls and some candy and you're good to go. That makes sense. So do you think he was trying to sell her to pay off his debts? Could be why they took her and not his... I'll ask. My source is saying she will not go to prison. She'll just be charged. My source, do you think he was trying to sell her to pay off the debts? Here's the thing, Carol Gardner. I don't... As far as my source is aware too, the mom didn't know it was happening. She found out after it happened. So she wasn't colluding. She found out after, right? So he wasn't trying to sell her, my source is saying, but he was just trying to arrange to get the reward for her, which was what was happening. $1 million reward. This is maybe a downside of doing rewards. I hesitate to say that, but maybe, or a plus side, maybe they use it as bait. Do you know what I mean? So the rewards can get pretty crazy and people will do a lot of things for those rewards. I am not in Florida because your stupid president locked the border, although you're allowed to come to my country. Aubrey, I'm late. Is this all speculation or are hard evidence being released? At this point, it is all speculation. Nothing can be corroborated, but pay attention to the news in Australia in the coming days. Kelly, once you are done with diapers, you're going to just buy yourself a cake and stuff like that. Yeah, it's my source in 8-Ball. Dear 8-Ball. Has all these really elaborate answers when you shake it. They didn't take the baby because the baby was biologically the stepdad's. This sounds like it was 100% planned and they need to be punished for it. I feel bad for Cleo and her sister, yeah. Again, in the end, this wasn't a very happy ending, right? Except for because Cleo was taken, brought back, but now is going to be in this circle of the family that didn't tell the police. That is crazy. They were filmed leaving this afternoon. I hope they're not going to run. Trust me, my source says the police know what's going down. They know what's going down. Maybe they left this afternoon to go voluntarily put themselves, at the police station. They're like giving themselves up. I don't know what this means, Amanda, but is it Dungeons and Dragons? Weird. Doing a live? Oh. Do we know if the mom and stepdad are still together? I mean, that'd be quite the thing to hide from your wife, right? That you have that many debts. And I don't know how much the debt was. So my source is saying that they are still together. Yeah. Kate P writes, I wonder how bad this is going to affect Cleo when she gets older. Yeah. Again, this is a bad situation all around. There's no good ending for Cleo here. Again, the silver lining was that she was taken and held, but not hurt or anything like some people were imagining, which is the only silver lining in this whole thing. So for anybody who's new to this chat right now, everybody, Cleo Smith in Australia, who was found 18 days later, okay? Hold on, this camera needs to come up a bit, sorry. It's now alleged that her parents knew where she was and did not tell the police, and the stepdad was trying to get the reward money to pay off his drug debts. So that's what's going on right now. In the coming days, you might see some arrests and some charges, and some crap's going to go down. So there's the recap. Okay, so Pelliners, I don't think that... How's it possible they're still together? I don't think he used her for leverage. Likely he didn't know, but then they found out by getting a call saying, I have your daughter, pay me what you owe me. That's probably likely what went down. I don't think that he planned this, but then the reward and everything started happening, and then he colluded with a friend of his to try to get the reward after finding out where she was. That's me just saying what I think. So the debt was over $250,000. $250,000 this guy owed a drug dealer. Like, we're talking, this is getting into like deep crime. Like, this is like organized crime now. This is exactly like the movie Man on Fire. That's a good movie. That's a lot of drugs. Good question. Yeah, exactly. Oh, what? Hold on. Stand by. I'm getting some information. Stand by, stand by. Just trying to get the information here. Give me a second. Okay, so we're just getting... Sorry, I'm just talking with my source and you guys at the same time. Like, if he's saying what I think he's saying, it's going to get crazy here in a second. Yeah, I think something like this, Paul. Okay, so my source is now saying, and again, don't forget, guys, this is alleged, this is not corroborated, that yes, the stepdad was in on it. My source is saying the stepdad passed her off. Oh my gosh. Okay. So this just got crazy. And so the question, we'll go back to the other question, is how is she still together with him? That's the question. Why is she still with him? Does that mean that she knows more than we think she knows? What is going on? That's what I'm thinking. Taylor Woolley, that's what I'm thinking, is why is the mom still with him? She must have known what was going on. Sorry, I'm playing mustache. It's just getting too long. So obviously there's drugs involved and kids should not be in that atmosphere. Hey, I agree with you. But you can't say that in 2021. Pro-drugs, everybody, even if you have kids. No, that's stupid. I agree with you. You should never have drugs around your kids ever. Ever. I don't even care. Parents who smoke weed and all that stuff, none. No drugs if you're parents. I know everybody's like, no, I hate you now, Josh. I don't care. Let's just be drug-free parents. How about that? That's why they took Cleo, not his child. His child is his. Cleo is not. Cleo needs to have the reward fund and get the whole new life. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. This just got crazy. So the stepdad is in on it. I didn't see that coming at all. Again, this is all alleged, everybody. Just telling you what my source is telling me. I am not a journalist. Okay? Gus. Gus, chill. Yeah, this is the kind of case where real crime just got crazy, right? It just got crazy. Hashtag the real crime. And it broke here. And thank you to my anonymous source and people that are here talking about this and hashing it out with me. Incredible. Like, but this is so sad though, because if I wonder if my source knows, or maybe we'll find out later, when the mom found out. And did the mom find out if the boyfriend or the husband was involved? And if so, how early did she know? I will make real crime merch, I promise. So the heist here, Erica Hinkle, is this. The daughter goes missing. Okay, and they said, I'm not sure if not everybody knows that there's a reward, but eventually if a body's not found and it's early enough in the game, most cases will offer rewards. I think my source will be able to tell me that. So mom found out after police were called. Okay, that's what my source is saying. So the idea here is they were going to go take her, okay? And then there's going to be a reward offered for her, because in most cases there ends up being a reward, especially for kids, right? Generally, for children, there are rewards. So the plan is, put her with this creepy, weird dude that plays with dolls, hold her there. When the reward happens, we'll give him up, because it didn't look like he had all his marbles. Does that make sense? This guy that they set up to be the patsy or whatever to take the girl, obviously broke the law, yes. But it sounds like this guy is not all there, and they took advantage of that. And we're going to turn him in to get the reward so he can pay off his drug debts. I agree with this. I hope my source is valid because it helps make sense of it all. Either the guy was sick or sick and got sucked into the drug deal too. Something tells me that the guy that they got, the weird-haired guy that plays with dolls, was sucked into this. And let me find out. What's his name? Does anybody know his name? Yeah, where's her bio data? That's a good question, actually. So you tell me, you think this guy looks like he's right in the head. You tell me this, because this is the guy's house. Okay? This is his house. This is the guy. You tell me you think that's someone who idolizes Bratz dolls? You think that person's right in the head? Sorry, I'm just looking for more pictures of him. Trying to get a picture without her. Here he is. You tell me you think that guy looks normal? Okay, so this guy is clearly taken advantage of for his lack of aptitude. I don't know what to say. But, so as far as we know, she was not SA'd. I hope my source can say that. Biodata has been cleared, not involved. So again, my conjecture is that this guy was used, not knowing what was going on, was likely paid. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they offered him some rare Bratz dolls. I don't know. I'll check with my source, but I don't think that he actually did hurt her. I don't think he did. That's what I'm saying so far. She was not. My source is saying she was not hurt. She was not SA'd. Not. Just so everybody's aware. Yeah, this is it. I don't know what else to say. Mentally challenged, or I don't know the proper PC term. I don't want to get struck or hated. Yeah, the guy that was at the press conference with mom is the stepdad, the guy who was involved in all this, and that's why he looked as shady as he did. If you're gonna be like in the public eye, why don't you just put a shirt on, or like a button up? Yeah, that man is nightmare fuel. It's like a mix of Michael Jackson and other serial killers. Cognitive deficits? I don't know. They're changing every day. Yeah, exactly, Jen. So he didn't hurt her. He's effed in the head for sure. Bree Bone writes, I really hate this, but the sad reality is usually when a child is found alive and unharmed, it's usually a planned scandal. Most children are actually kidnapped, don't come home safely. Which is why everybody wanted this to be such a good story. But now we're realizing how deep this goes, and this guy's $250,000 in debt. The mom finds out after she's taken what happens and doesn't call the police. They let it escalate, so the reward gets higher, and higher, and then they collude to collect the reward, and now they're going to go to jail. Not the mom, apparently, but the rest. Yeah, Target and Disney. Couldn't have said it better myself. So they put her through all of this for a chance of money. Isn't it amazing what people will do for money? She hasn't slept for days with the mom next to her. So Glenda, the plan to get the money was they had her taken, and in most cases, is my source who's listening, is it generally correct that in cases of missing children, there's often a reward offered at some point? So my conjecture is that they're waiting for the reward to be offered, get to a high enough level where he could pay off of his drug debts, the stepdad, which is over $250,000 Australian, okay? He's saying, yes, there's generally a reward offered. They were waiting for that to happen. Then when the reward was offered, then they threw this weird, creepy Bratz, ugly-haired, noodle-faced guy under the bus to collect that money. And now they're getting caught. How'd they get caught? Because the police did their job. They absolutely put it all together. You do not have to believe my unnamed source, just call me Hen. Don't have to believe me. Just saying, pay attention. I could be completely wrong. This is all conjecture. Just saying. I have it on good authority. You do not have to believe this. If I'm wrong, then I will apologize. No, Crystal, you cannot get the reward money if you find your own kid. I don't think so. Which is why the stepdad allegedly called one of his friends to call in the tip that would have her found. And then they would collect the money and split it. Erica Hinkle, it sounds more true than not as far as I can see. How else does that happen, that she's taken from a campsite without anybody knowing? There had to have been some kind of thing. Like, he got up to say, I'm going to take her to the bathroom. The mom knows more than she's telling us, that's for sure. I might have to clarify some stuff, so. Now, as far as I'm aware, this story has not broken in Australia. She was not in her own tent, Jalin. She was in a different room of the tent. Yeah, this is why I'm thinking the mom knows more than she's telling. What kind of comment is this? My source tells me that Cleo masterminded. Okay, Summer K. Whatever. I'm gonna screenshot this, and when stuff comes out, I get to tell you I told you so, right? Right? You get to eat a little bit of crow. Because when parents have 250,000 or whatever, debts, people will do whatever it takes to not die. Probably. Like, if this person's, you know what I mean, it's crazy. They'll do whatever it takes. Yeah, but a 10-person tent, we all know, Margaret, it's more like a 3-person tent. So don't, you know, that's 10 people if you're like in a migrant facility. The story hasn't broken in Australia because, frankly, it's untrue. Well, I guess we'll see. I trust my source. Any evidence of the mom is abused? I don't know. I'll ask my source if there's any evidence of the mom being abused or told to shut her mouth kind of thing. My source is right here. I just made this up. What in my 425 videos on my channel alludes to me just making something up like this for no reason? Why would I do that? So who posts the reward money? I'm pretty sure it was the law enforcement, I think. So, and my source saying a lot has to happen before releasing information. Was the tipster a female neighbor? I don't know. Does it? I don't know what that means. So, from my anonymous source, says the tipster was not a female neighbor. That's what my source is telling me. Well, Elizabeth, people think I'm lying because they don't want to believe it, and so I can't blame them. Who wants to believe that parents would set their kid up like this and put them through so much for money? So I get that. I understand that people don't want this to be true. I don't want it to be true. I'm just telling you what my source is telling me, that a source that I absolutely trust. There are also a lot of tipsters. There were a lot of tipsters in this case. Hannah Leanne, I've updated a couple times, but basically I'm alleging through an anonymous source that the stepdad knew where the kid was, where Cleo was, and was using it as a setup to get money to pay off his $250,000 in drug debts. So the mom had also known after the police were called, and they did not tell the police. So that's kind of the big update, what's going on right now. Also, allegedly, the dad might have been the one that handed off the kid, and the guy that they found that did this likely was a patsy who was not all there, guy that collects Bratz dolls, and they used him to throw him under the bus. That's all alleged, everybody. All alleged. None of this has been proven. Yeah, people kill for money, so yeah. All right, Lucy. Maybe, but I trust my sources. I wouldn't bring this to you guys if I didn't trust my source. My source has no reason to lie to me. But again, all those people in here are coming at me. When this comes out to be true, you guys all owe me a coffee. Yeah, it's definitely not Micah who told me this. It's not. And it's not a psychic or anything like that. Maybe true. I had a weird feeling about all this. The new pictures being released of Cleo and her parents might try to make money off the fame. I think, yeah, I'm wondering what would have happened if they didn't get the reward money. My source is in law enforcement. I'm allowed to tell you that. My source is in law enforcement. If that helps you get behind it a little bit more, so I'm allowed to tell you that. I trust you. I just don't know the source. Why this source is trusted, and also I don't want it to be true. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I unnamed sources. That's just the way it is. Once this story does come out, my source has said that they will come on and talk about this case and about law enforcement in general, because it's a lot to talk about. He knows a lot. Yes, I'm definitely thinking. Yes, if this comes out and it's completely untrue, I will be the first to admit my wrongdoing. I won't eat hand cream, but I will definitely apologize. Again, what does pastor off mean? I think my source is saying also the photo of them leaving the hospital, Cleo was not the kid that they were holding the closest, which is something to be said. But I think pastor off likely means that he was the one that handed her to the other person. Like, took her out of the tent with the sleeping bag, zipped it back up, which would also explain why she didn't make noises or freak out, right? If she's in this tent, he went into the tent, picked her up and said, oh, hey, probably put her at ease, carried her somewhere, handed her off so that no noise could have been made. That makes sense for that. People wondering why she didn't freak out or yell or scream. Makes sense if it was him, right? Right? Where was Cleo found? She was found in an apartment. I don't know the name of the place, but it was found in that guy's house that had a whole bunch of Bratz dolls. This guy's house. Oops, sorry. This guy's house. He collects Bratz dolls. So. Yeah, again, Margot, this is a really good point. Likely he could have said something like, oh, you're just going to go with my friend, and just you're going to go get ice cream or whatever, carnivore. And that makes sense to me. That if you're looking at Occam's razor, carnivore, you're looking at Occam's razor, that makes the most sense here. Why she didn't make a noise, why she didn't freak out. It was a trusted dude who took her to where she was going to go, and then he might have even told her, hey, you're going to have to go to this place, it's got a whole bunch of dolls, you're going to be there for a couple weeks. He could have lied to her, he could have said a whole bunch of things, put her at ease, right? It might not have been so crazy, it might have just been like, I'm going to put you at ease. So, Juju drop, it allegedly looks like it's a setup. Carnarvon. I'll say it right someday, I promise. Cleo is the name of a proper... Can we also just, while we have this chat going, 1,200 people here, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, but can we also, let's just stop with Bratz dolls? Can we just make that not a thing? Can you please stop buying your children Bratz dolls and really hyper-sexualized dolls? You guys, on this channel, I talk a lot about being a dad and that whole world of exploitation of kids. Can we please stop getting your kids Bratz dolls? I know it's a little side avenue we're taking here, but stop. Stop it. Stop. Tushpa. Stop buying your kids that shit. Yeah, I judge you if you buy your kids Bratz dolls. What are you going to do about it? Just kidding. If you want to do it, go for it. I'm just saying. Maybe consider what you're putting in front of your kids' eyeballs every day. Yeah, they still make them. They make a lot of them. Now, LOL dolls is very similar to Bratz dolls. It's not as bad as Bratz, but yeah, they're all... My daughter loves LOL. I bought a couple once, and I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. Let's go... What about a horse? Did you like a horse instead? Let's go buy a horse or a pony. I don't like the dolls that are sexualized. I hate them. I'm sorry, but how ethical is it of your source to reveal this info? Not the kind of guy you want to hang out. No, my source is a very awesome person, so... Just telling us the story because people don't seem to want to get it right. Actually, I can make this happen. I can make this happen. Give me a second. Subscribers. There we go. A lot of Shannon Matthews coming up. I don't know what that case is like, but of course. Because my source thinks I'm the bomb. That's why. Yeah, the LOL dolls are nasty. And it just, again, when an adult, here's the thing about people like this guy that we're talking about right now. And I'm not saying he's innocent because clearly he's not innocent. At the same time, he's clearly not all there. And this guy is likely being hurt in jail, right? He's obviously just as guilty. There are a whole slew of other people that are in on this thing. American Girl dolls are really cool. Also effing darn expensive. So be careful. And there's like whole stores. You go to the mall and it's like you have to take a mortgage out to buy them. No, don't release my source identity. No. Brat dolls, terrible. Eric Hinkle, Josh, what if they both drugged her during the 2 a.m. drink and then she slept right through and woke up? Possibly, but I don't see that being the case because if she trusts the stepdad, it's easier for him just to tell her what's going on. So you don't have to do it. I hope not anyway. Oh, Amber, you have 100 American dolls? Woo. I can't go to Florida because they turned me away at the border. Your government hates me. No, my source did not charge me for this intel. Absolutely not. I would never do that. Can you ask your source what the actual tip that led them to finding her? Allegedly, the stepdad, yes, is involved. That's okay. People are allowed to be okay with gender stereotypes. But people are also allowed to say, I don't like gender stereotypes. Both are valid. I just go live whenever I want. There's no set times. Yeah, she's old enough to tell her story. I think there's probably... Emily is a good point. She's old enough to tell her story to the police. There won't be question marks when all is said, because maybe that's what led them to this point. They found some stuff. Oh, well, Dad said I was going here and here and here, and then they put 2 and 2 together. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Danica. Is she likely told that to the police? I wouldn't feel sorry for the brats. He still did what he did. He shouldn't have done it. Unless he was told he was babysitting. Right? We don't know that whole story. This guy obviously is not all there. We don't know the whole story about this guy, but if he did take her and was part of the whole thing, then yes, he obviously is to blame. But if he was just told he was babysitting, we don't know that either. It's pronounced Canervin. Canervin. Canervin, easiest way to say it in case Canervin. Okay, got it. Canervin? Canervin. Caravan? I read something that says the guy in custody for the abduction has self-harmed while in police custody. He's obviously not all there like you said. Okay, well. So yes, he's been harmed in prison. Either self-harm or by someone else. Tony. Canervin. Canervin. Kenevin. Kenevin. Everybody's saying a different pronunciation. Sorry. The man charged is on Facebook. His profile name is Terrence Tickels. He follows Ellie Smith, Cleo's mom. He follows her. I did see that on Twitter too. So the guy in custody beat his head against the wall at the police station, had to be taken to the hospital for his head injuries. Wow. It's a good question. We don't know where the biodata is and all this. Carnarvon. Okay, there were people who knew about this, but were not okay saying so at first. After the car that was spotted, he was flagged. Carnarvon. Okay, I'm not saying it anymore. I'm going to say how I want to say it. Deal with it. The biodad spoke out, Gino. Really, I'd like to see that. Yeah, I think Carrie, it's good sense. I feel like if he actually wanted her for some weird reason, she would be injured in some way or worse. Yeah, I agree. Why did they pick the creepy Bratz doll dude? Here's why I think. Is because that guy is clearly not all there, easy to take advantage of, likely easy to lie to, maybe was told, you're babysitting. I don't know. Maybe he was cut in on it. I don't know. But it looked like he was taken, used, so that he could be the patsy in the whole thing. Could have been just that he wanted a living doll. Absolutely. Cleo is 4 years old, and she can probably tell the police a lot of things. No, Kim Queen, the biodad does not live in the town. No, he was not all there. Not a living doll situation. So we can say that he wasn't doing it for a living doll, but we can corroborate that no, he's not all there mentally, which is why he was easy to take advantage of. But he's not all there mentally all the way. He could have harmed. Yeah, it's true. That's exactly why this is so dangerous to do something like this. Yeah, the daughter will never be able to forget this. Holy, a lot of people entering the chat right now. He thought he would get cash out of it, is what my source is saying. He assumed he was going to get paid for it. So he's definitely guilty. What if charged and guilty? So he's not. It's not an innocent like taking it. Hey, babysit her. He did not know. He knew what was going on. He was going to get paid for it. Okay. Well, my source is saying that he's not all there. So that's what we're saying. We're going to stick with that. If I'm blurry, just refresh the feed. No, they know who gave the tip, but they're not going to get the reward. The only reward they might get is prison. Yeah, he lived very close, Deirdre. This is why it's kind of people had a bad vibe about, considering how close he lived to them. Yes, but we're thinking that it might have been collusion. The kidnapping was likely a collusion, allegedly. So allegedly, Sarah Barnes says, "Wait, the person who gave the tip is going to go get the prison time." And so here's what it is. Allegedly, the stepdad reached out to this other person who made the tip, so that it wasn't them getting the money. This person was going to make the tip. She was going to be found. He would collect $1 million reward. That's what we're saying. That's what we're thinking. And how did they know the guy? People are asking how the parents knew the weird guy. Drugs. They knew this guy because of drugs. That's how they knew him. If you're wondering. So what did the parents do wrong? Well, the stepdad, if we are correct here, he's the one who might have passed her off or knew about it. As soon as the police were called, then the mother was made aware, and then she did not tell the police. Was also likely waiting to collect the reward money. The dad allegedly owed over $250,000 to somebody for drugs, and the reward was $1 million. Yeah. Yeah, the biodad was cleared. Biodad has nothing to do with this. Well, Jasmine, if this turns out to be true, I hope you come back and apologize. Again, how many crimes... I'm not saying we solved the crime here. I'm just saying we're talking about real crime situations and what to think about in the future. If anything, is never to trust anybody ever. But this is what it is. I don't know where you heard that no one tipped them off. Everyone watch Shannon Matthews' UK case on here. Maybe I'll go over that and we'll see what the parallels are. Lesson for today: don't do drugs and don't play with Bratz dolls if you're an adult or if you're a kid either. Yeah, Julie, I was just saying that maybe he was coerced into saying that, but no, he was definitely involved. Cop in the interview said the tips did not lead to her. Has the stepdad been taken into custody? I will ask my source. Yeah, there's Bratz dolls still exist, and they shouldn't. They should have never existed. I would love to meet the inventor of Bratz dolls. I can already picture them in my head. Guarantee it was a dude. I could be wrong, but... I thought Summer Wells could be taken by a drug dealer. Never thought of Cleo, but it's starting to be believable. We're starting to realize, and again, we've had more proof time over time, the depths that parents will go to do things, and that will do. There's, 375 million people in the U.S.? There's going to be all types of people. They are not in custody yet. Oh, is it midnight in Western Australia right now? Oh, jeez. You guys go to bed. Why are you still up? Oh, really? Bratz, created by Carter Bryant. Let me see what he looks like. Of course it was created by a dude. Well, surprise, freaking surprise. Does it surprise you that this is the creator? This guy right here? Find a bigger picture. Does it surprise you that that's the creator of Bratz dolls? Doesn't surprise me. You could do a whole. We're gonna uncover the world of Bratz and the secret underground trading system. Yeah, so what the police do, like in this situation, is they try to make the parents feel super comfortable and everything else and let them mess up when they charge. And so my source can confirm that the parents have already lawyered up. I'm pretty sure all dolls are created by a dude because women aren't creepy like that. So, if you make dolls, you're creepy. Like creepy makeup baby. So police already debunked this rumor. How come we're still talking about it? Police said there was no tip. Parents weren't involved. I seriously doubt that he owed $250,000 in drug. Well, I guess we're going to find out, Modern Prospector. You're telling me that police debunked all this already? Do you have the article for that, debunking that? Well, some dudes have schmeebs. You ever heard of schmeebs? We got schmeebs. Yeah, the fact that he lived so close was a major red flag as far as I'm concerned. The state premier even made a show of visiting him today. I wonder if he was informed of all this. That'll be really important. Because what... Ugh, the reborn baby community. Don't even get me started on how creepy that is. Although I've heard it is therapeutic for people, but those who collect them to collect them, they're weird. Okay? Don't collect real life babies. It's really weird. Real life looking babies. Also don't collect real babies. I mean, I'm sure you did. I'm just going by what I allegedly have been told. So... This all happened the day she was found, so it was like the 18th when she was found yesterday. So, not saying you're not wrong, Modern. Maybe some of the details are a little bit up and down, but I think the details overall are correct. Yeah. Oh, I'm getting a text from my wife. Yep. I can do that. Okay. Do not start a collection of real life babies unless you're actually just having babies. Those are called children. Then you can have children. Don't be like creep pieces or crazy pieces and collect foster kids for money for YouTube. Oof, that's creepy, Miranda. Who? Don't do this. No. The police said today in the interview that the family have been unfairly targeted, and that they again reiterate that they were not involved. If this was all true, they would have the stepfather in custody. Okay, well, I'm just telling you what I think I know. Couch Hatch kids are fine. Because those are nostalgic. They don't look like real babies. Yeah. If this is all true, everybody buys me one t-shirt. Again, I have no reason to believe, but if I am being lied to, which I don't think I am, I obviously will come clean and apologize and all this stuff, but I have no reason to believe that my source is lying. No reason whatsoever. I mean, 360 KOD says there's no way the dude was messing with big enough players to owe $250,000. But imagine if that were the case, because you're putting a lot of value on 250,000. You're saying that's such a big deal to owe players like that 250K. But if that's the case, then what depths would you go to mitigate the disaster that's happening because of it, right? So in one weird way, you're almost proving that yeah, they would have done that because of the danger of the players big enough to owe 250,000 to you, right? Does that make sense? I was turned away the border because I was not essential. But when I read and did my research about going to the border, you're allowed to cross if you're working. And they said no. So I said, well, then I'll just get on an airplane and fly in. So I'll go to a busy-ass airport, hop onto a packed plane with no social distancing, and then I'll go into the country. That makes a lot of sense. Thanks, government. Biden. Unbelievable. Can't cross in your own car, traveling by yourself with a mask on. I'll do all the stuff and have my test done, but you can get onto a packed airplane and go into the country. Government. Not even once. Ask source, why did the police minister shoot down his own theory 15 hours ago? Did they not know yet or what? I guess we'll find out. Kim Queen, how would they have known there would have been a $1 million reward offered? It's not a given. Makes no sense. Yes, but my source says that most of these cases have some type of reward offered, right? So they didn't bank on being $1 million, but they banked on it being a bunch. And so that's what they were waiting for. And the $250,000 mark comes from the government. That's how they know. I think the idea is driving versus flying is they can't control who you get in contact with along the way. Okay. But they can't control who I get in contact with when I get into the country either way. Either I enter in through an airplane and then I can go contact everybody, or I drive in and I can contact everybody. So I sort of see what you're saying, but not really. I mean, through the contract tracing, perhaps. But again, when I land into the country, I can go anywhere I want. And then probably give me $450,000 for my trouble. So LSD roughly costs $31,000 a gram. How do you know this, Elizabeth? That's a lot of money for LSD. What is LSD? Isn't LSD like the drugs that the Beatles write about? Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Yes, Canadian Americans can come over here if you're fully vaxxed. We're like, come on in, but the U.S. is like, not unless you're an illegal immigrant. Don't come at creepy makeup, baby. Okay, none of your business. It was. So my source is saying it was meth, and I don't know how much meth is, but I've seen Breaking Bad. Okay, and the piles of money. How much is meth? Let's Google that. Will I get arrested for Googling this? How much is meth? How much do drugs cost? Marijuana. Meth street prices. $5. Today, one single hit of meth is $5. I don't know how to do. There's no like drug menu. Meth is $100 a gram and wow. Okay. Yes, I did, Margaret. Yes, I did. The suspect apparently injured himself. Possibly. Sorry, I'm so skeptical. It's just such a made-for-movie scenario. Can't imagine this stuff happens in real life. Nobody wants to believe this. I don't want to believe it. That little girl is the only one going to suffer past this thing. I hope I'm wrong. Hope I eat my words past this, but I don't think so. I have no reason to believe that my source is lying to me. Why would they lie? Like, this is a very trusted source to me. So. It sounds like this guy was probably trafficking the drugs, right? He wasn't just doing the drugs, probably was a dealer. That makes sense. So $250,000 to a dealer, like he probably took the thing, sells the $250,000 worth of meth for $325,000, gives the $250,000 back to the dealer, and then gets more. I'm not a drug dealer. I don't know how it works, but that sounds... He was injured twice. The other guy was injured another way the second time. So the guy did self-inflict injuries, and then he hurt, and then was hurt again by something else. Please don't collect reborns. I mean, unless it's for like therapy. That's weird. I'm not gonna do drugs, Will. I've never done drugs, never drank, never smoked, nothing. I am one of the most vanilla people on earth. No, not joking. You want to know my addiction? That's my addiction. I gotta get going soon. I'm gonna drop my son off an interview. Finally. He's gonna be at a job. Not play video games all day long. And do whatever. I don't even know what he does. So, very excited. Oh, schmeebs are man boobs. That's what I call them. Schmeebs. Schmeebs. See? These are schmeebs. See the schmeebs? So they're saying that's cartel level of drug trade money. Street dealers aren't playing in that kind of stock. Okay, well, so find out. He used to work at McDonald's, so we used to get tons of free stuff. But now Amazon's hiring, so he's like, yeah, night shift should be easy. Tyson, you almost ready? Okay, we'll go. All right, everybody, I got to take my son to his thing. So I probably won't touch this case until everything's corroborated. But I want to thank my source, who's an amazing person in my life, who I completely trust, absolutely. But if they're mistaken, I'm gonna find you. Just kidding. I'm gonna, you know, I really appreciate all the information and everybody asking great questions. Again, all of this is conjecture. It's not been corroborated, but pay close attention to the news over the next couple days in Australia. Those who doubted me and my source, you owe us, I don't know. What do you think? Candy bars? We like ketchup chips. That kind of stuff. So whatever. We'll collect ours later. So make sure we screenshot those people. But Tyson should get it because they need people to work. Hashtag real crime, everybody. I will see you in... I have 2 more videos coming up today. My source is saying ketchup chips, please. And I will send my source tons of ketchup chips. What do I owe you if I'm wrong? I will... I don't know. You guys tell me what you want me to do. I'll do whatever. I will never bungee jump or anything like that's super dangerous. But you tell me. If I'm wrong, obviously I'll apologize. But I'll do something crazy. But thanks for having this conversation with me. We're not trying to solve a crime here. We're just breaking some news that I was given. So we will see you later, everybody. I'll tell everybody you said good luck to Tyson, okay?